such a massive fire rolled through here.
Ghostly images, soot and ash blocking out the sun, casting everything in tones of black and white.
So far, I've not seen a structure standing.
There has been catastrophic damage across the western United States, and tonight at least 70 fires are burning in 10 states with no end in sight. Tonight, the smoke remains a dangerous hazard to millions. San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Seattle among the worst air quality in the world. In Portland, Oregon, the air quality levels are so hazardous, people are being encouraged not to go outside. Authorities warning anyone who has to go out to wear an N95, a precious commodity in the pandemic.
This could be the greatest loss of human lives and property due to wildfire in our state's history.
Children are particularly sensitive to smoke because their respiratory systems are still developing, their airways are smaller, so the bottom line right now is please stay inside.
In Oregon, they're warning of a mass fatality incident with at least 22 people missing in the state. At least 27 people have been killed in 3 states over the past week.
We are experiencing weather conditions the likes of which we've never experienced in our lifetime.
In California, a record 3.3 million acres have burned this year. That's 27 times the amount that burned last year. Today, President Trump was on the ground in Sacramento to survey the damage.
This is one of the biggest burns we've ever seen, and we have to do a lot about forest management.
The president's message highlighting forest management and dismissing climate change.
If we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay, it'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
My colleague Lindsay Davis spoke with Wade Crowfoot, the California Secretary for Natural Resources, about their contentious exchange.
I don't think science knows, actually, was his response. What were you thinking in that moment? And also in your time with him today, did the president simply ignore the impact that climate change is having across the board?
I mean, I think the statement that he made speaks for itself. I think we're frustrated in California and across the West Coast. Our communities are under threat right now from catastrophic wildfire, burning like we've never seen it burn before, fueled by record-shattering summer heat wave multiple times this summer. It's what scientists told us will happen with climate change. And so this is an urgent issue. And what I asked him today was really a plea to work with us, to let science be our guide to protect the forests and ultimately to protect people.
Presidential candidate Joe Biden tweeting a 2-word message: science knows. Earlier, Biden had painted a stark picture of what 4 more years of a Trump presidency could do to the environment.
Donald Trump's climate denial may not have caused these fires and record floods and record hurricanes, but if he gets a second term, these hellish events will continue to become more common, more devastating, and more deadly.
Biden's argument that climate change does matter is in line with the Democratic governors of Washington and California.
The debate is over around climate change. Just come to the state of California. Observe it with your own eyes.
I think we have to start thinking they're more climate fires. They're climate fires because that's what creates the conditions that makes them so explosive.
The devastation cannot be overstated. From Portland to Los Angeles, communities are in a state of emergency. Those fighting the fires completely drained.
We've been working nonstop, sleeping on the ground, and on top of that, you know, all the guys up here, they have families and property. They're part of the community, and the emotional toll for everybody that just adds to the exhaustion.
In Berry Creek, California, it's the North Complex West Zone fire they're battling.
This fire came through so quickly. In just a matter of minutes, it burned both cars and homes to the ground, leaving behind a toxic smoke that is still so choking. I have to keep my mask on. One veteran fire chief who's worked in California for more than 30 years tells me these are the worst conditions he's ever seen.
That was the front of the house right there.
Here, at least 6 of the firefighters have lost their own homes.
I was out evacuating people. We were getting them out, and then the next day I found out my home burnt and lost everything I had.
Reed Rankin is captain of the Berry Creek Fire Department. We went with him to the site where his home once stood. Now it's a vacant lot of rubble and ash.
Everything you ever owned in your life and collected is all right there. It's just gone. It's heartbreaking.
The all-volunteer fire department even lost its station to the blaze.
Trees sound like spaceships taking off. Every tree is, and it just makes you sick to your stomach.
Just 40 miles west of Berry Creek, Dalan Cameron has lived in Oroville, California for 58 years.
So you experienced the campfire, you just experienced this fire. I mean, this area has been battered in recent years by fires.
We haven't had a fire this close, though. I mean, this close for a long time.
Do you want to stay here?
Well, where am I going to go? Everything's gone. No housing, no nothing.
My colleague Matt Gutman was in Oregon last week as the fires started spreading.
I've been covering fires for half a dozen years or more. I've never seen anything like this. A sky completely orange at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Here, retardant could not stop the force of the fire.
With our crane camera, I want to show you this world of pink laid down around me, and still it did nothing to stop the progress of that fire, which incinerated entire neighborhoods, entire developments here.
So many with nowhere to live. Emma and Libby Gillaspy took refuge at a Red Cross shelter in Salem, Oregon.
We had a neighbor who called us kind of hysterically screaming and said, "Get out, you guys need to leave."
The fires ripping through their town of Gates. The single mom grabbed her sister's dogs and fled into the night.
I still have my swimsuit on. I had sat in the pool that day, you know.
You literally left in a swimsuit.
In a swimsuit, you know, the kids had their pajamas. Half of them didn't have shoes on.
They think their house is safe, but they don't know for sure. The upheaval of COVID and temporary homelessness, almost too much.
Tearing up a little bit.
Yeah. It's her senior year. School is hard for her anyway because we haven't been able to start school, and now we can't start school, so it's been hard.
In another neighborhood, we followed Tim Englehart as he searched for his home. With landmarks gone, the neighborhood unrecognizable.
A friend of ours had a house here, a couple friends, and it's so destroyed I can't even find where it was.
He was with his daughters and his grandson picking through the wreckage.
I'm so surprised that the people was able to get out of here alive.
Grandson Andre finding a prized possession, a light-up keyboard he'd earned himself.
This is just a special, gift, personal gift that he got for learning to ride his bike. So, Great. But guess what? Remember what we said, it's what? Replaceable, right? Yeah. Right, okay. So we can hang on to it, we'll make something cool with it, all right? Yeah. Okay. I know, that's good.
After the flames wiped out 6 towns in Oregon, search crews and canines have taken on the grim task of searching for the missing, while residents are returning in utter despair.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I had seen videos, but it's 1,000 times worse than I could have ever imagined.
A grim warning, fire season in California has just started. The most destructive blazes tend to occur in November and December. For Nightline, I'm Will Carr in Berry Creek, California.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.